Yeah, I love that theme music. If you like that theme music, just throw your hand up. It's just me. Good evening, y'all. Welcome to After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. I'm your host, the romantic funny man, Shawn Cornelius, and we have a very wonderful show for you this evening. Like I say every night, fantastic. But before we get into that, I want to say good evening to my right and left hands. That's right, program director DDC, Denise, the Giorgio Cooney, and Smoke is in the building. They are backstage, making sure everything is going to work out properly. And I also want to say what's going on to those people that are going to be watching, and to let you guys know that are watching out there in TV land. While we do the show here live, we are also streaming on social media. So you'll hear me say some things that you'll be like, what? Well, that's because to my left here, I'm watching what's going on social media. So just so you know what's going on with the show, fantastic opportunity. The show is growing. We're doing very well. So thank you for watching out there on BronxNet. Thank you for watching on DH1. And thank you for watching or listening to the podcast, which is on Spotify as of now. So you can go listen to past episodes. So tonight, yeah, I got a player in the building. When I say player, that means he does play. He plays with games and things and action figures and things on that level. But he is a very funny dude and a good friend of mine. I don't even say, but he's a brother, So it's going to be great sitting down with him. I met him over 15 years ago now, about 15 years or so, downtown in Manhattan at Ha Comedy Club. And we'll talk about that more. I've known him that long, and I walked into the club, and I just had gotten back from down south and came back home to start up my career here. And I was looking for a home club, and that was one of the first clubs. People said, don't go there, don't go that club. So I go against the grain because I don't like to follow the grain. So I went there and I met this man right at the door. And I did my audition, and the rest is history. Again, 15 years and so of friendship. So we're going to have a good time having a conversation with him. So I hope you guys will just sit where you are and let us take you on a fantastic ride. And then we're going to put him, of course, in the second half in the love zone on the love seat and see how he does about that. I've been, like I said, 15 years. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we're going to try to discuss it and see if he has some nice things to say about love. So we're 3 minutes into the show, which means it's time to bring my guest on. Very talented comedian, like I said, good friend. The Boogie Down from the Bronx, my man, Francisco Aldorando.
Oh, I'm giving myself a round of applause.
Didn't that sound good?
John?
That's good,
Yo, man, you got to do it. If you ain't going to do it for yourself, we're going to do it for you. You know what I'm saying?
Got that right, man.
This is crazy. If you would have told me 15 years ago we'd be sitting here, man, I would have laughed in your face.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah, that was nuts. I walked in there, and there you were, and look at where we are now, man.
Man. It's funny. It's funny. I used to always catch hell. I used to book the club. I used to put I was the guy in charge of putting all the comics on, and I was always looking for people who. The funny thing is, when you said people, it had a bad rep among comedians.
Comedians.
And the reason it had a bad rep among comedians was the only people who talked bad about it were either people that we kicked out or we didn't let in.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Like, to a man, anyway, once you got in, like, he was like, oh, I don't even know why people.
It's the best place in the world.
We didn't care. Nobody did more shows than us. Nobody did more. Nobody did more shows. Nobody did more spots than we did. It was an insane ride. I think from 2006 to 2012, to 2014, it closed in like 14, like officially all the way. But from 2006 to 2014, that was like 8 years of just like insanity. You know what I mean?
You know what? It was awesome. Again, like you said, those that didn't get in or those that got put out, comic wise, they had something to say about it. But those of us that had a regular gig and couldn't work regularly anywhere else were like, yo, I'm cool with it. There's no problem for me. I had Rich Aronovich on the show already, and Rich was telling his stories, and we went back. But I know you got so many more. But let's start off with
Rich. First of all, can we agree? Rich, hands down. I want to say the fastest and the funniest comic I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he's spastic.
Just hands down. there's no touching that dude, man. When it comes right down to it, if you
Sure.
just kind of like you know how people will tell you like as a comedian, people are like I don't like it when people are always on or when comics try to be funny.
Yeah.
Rich is one of those rare cats who's just funny. Period. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna laugh. Period. Like even if you're in a shitty mood, like you're gonna laugh, and it doesn't get old. Like I've never been like, oh, Rich enough. Like never. Like that's how
Yeah.
good and funny and how good of a person Rich is, man. I love Rich.
Yeah, we had a good conversation, man. So let's get it in. Let's find out your roots, where you're from, and then we'll go into the other stuff, the real fun,
I'm
elastic
I'm
stuff.
from the I'm from the Bronx, man. I'm a Bronx kid. I'm from here. I'm still here. You know what I mean? I still live in my same zip code I grew up in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't move that far. I moved like maybe like a mile away from where I grew up. I stay local. I am local. You know what I mean? Like I like being from here. I like everybody has to like where they're from, I guess. You know what I mean? But like, you know, if you're from like Nebraska or you're from a small town or and you can't wait to leave, like I've never wanted to leave. Like I'm a New Yorker. So I'm from where everybody wants to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I left,
It's
but I
a
came back. You know,
yeah,
you have
why,
reasons.
you can't stay away.
You have reasons for coming back or sticking around.
Hmm.
But like I tell people, New York, wherever I go or I may move to, man, I'm a New Yorker to heart. I'm a New York kid. So
Yeah.
you're hearing the boogie down, and
Hmm.
now you've been doing stand up longer than you was at Haas. So what is your number of years
I've been
in
doing
stand up?
see my first show was August 5th, 2002. So this is coming up on 19 years. I've been doing it full time since 2003. So yeah, so that's like 18 and like 18 like full time. I fell into Dana Duke gave me a comedian Dana Duke, very funny cat. After like my third or fourth show, he gave me a really good piece of advice, which was if you're serious about this, do your own show and do like a weekly show. And if you're serious about it, it'll make you go up. It'll make you take this seriously if it's something you want to do. And I did one better. I found a club that I ended up running. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
ended up just I started at high before it was high when it was still like Sweet Carolines. Um, just handing out tickets in the street, and then I ended up just actually that's how I met Rich. Rich was one of the main
right.
people
That's
there
what
who
he
like
told
helped
us.
me
Yeah,
out.
he was right out
Yeah,
there. Hmm.
yep. You know what I mean? And it just you would go hand out tickets. Rich and Jim and Drinos were two comedians who like were really like helpful and like, oh hey, you know, you can come here and hand out tickets, and they'll put you up. So I hadn't been doing comedy less. I've been doing comedy less than 3 months before I was doing real shows for real people 3 or 4 times a week,
Right.
twice a night, you know, to start with. So it was crazy. That's where I met Exine.
Hmm.
Um, that's where I met like the core group of people who like helped me like just figure out not not how to do it, but what I should be doing or could be doing. You know,
Yeah. Well, okay. So Why did you get into it? What got you into it? What
yo,
was the thing that said, "Yo"? You said, "I'm going to do it." That's it.
I started doing this when I was 28, but I wanted to do it since I was a little kid. Since the first time I heard comedy. I think I was watching. I wish I could remember who it was, but I was up late when I watching Letterman. I watched Letterman's monologue, and then he had a comedian on. I don't remember the comedian, but I remember when it was. It was like December. It was in December of '83. I want to say I was like 10 years old. And I was like, wow, I want to do that. So now you fast forward about another 8 years, and I started going to comedy shows. And at the old Boston Comedy Club, I'm leaving
Yeah.
I'm leaving there, and the Boston Comedy Club was right above a bar.
Yeah. Down in the
So
village.
after
Yeah.
the show ended at 2, and I went downstairs and hung out at the bar till 4 in the morning. Now me and my friends are walking down West Third, yeah,
Yeah.
walking down West Third to get to the train station. Out of another bar comes the host of the show. This is one of those moments when people tell you like, "Yo, I'll never forget this for the rest of my life." I'm never gonna forget this because remember, from the time I was 10 to now I'm 18 years old, I'm like, "Oh, I would love to do comedy." People tell
Right.
me I'm funny. I should try this. I want to try this. And when you leave a comedy show and you had a good time, the audience is also on that high. So I was still on that high. We were still talking about the show and the comics we saw and the jokes and shit. As we're coming down the block, I see Louis Schaefer coming out of what's now the Fat Black Pussycat on
Yeah.
West 3rd. And I saw him and I was like, hey, Louis Schaefer, you know, and like same way, like you 1,000 times this happened to us where there's people after the show trying to like talk. I didn't realize it then, but he like wasn't in the mood for it. So I said to him the same thing people have told me hundreds of times. I said, hey, my friends say I'm funny. Maybe I should be a comedian. And he looked at me with like the weight of the world, with like everything that comedy really is in his eyes. Like I'll never forget the look on his face. When he looked at me right in my eye, he was like, don't bother. That was it. That's all he said. He was like, don't bother. So I don't know what he had been through that night, that week, or whatever, but what he said there, like, took away all the fun that I had just had. You know what I mean? Like, he had peeled the curtain back to be like, yo, this fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have the patience for it or nothing.
You're making this real easy on me. If you notice, I don't know if you can't see my face, but I'm like, yeah, I just ask him one question, he'll go, and he runs. So, but which is cool because everything you're talking about, I want to get on and get into. Because but you said something about being a kid, but it looks like from your background, you're still a kid.
No, I haven't had to grow up. But when Louis Schaefer told me not to bother doing comedy, it took all of the enthusiasm that I had about being funny, like for a living, like as doing it, it took that away because like whatever he was going through, it like you know how somebody's heart will touch your heart, like his heart touched my heart. Like he looked at me, he saw a kid, he was like, man, you ain't built for this, you're not ready for this, you don't know what this is about. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just put that to the side. I was like, man, fuck that, because I had a job. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I'm working. So I put this idea of comedy to the side, and I went out to the real world. And I got a job again. You progress, you get different jobs, you develop a work ethic. You know what I mean? If I had started doing comedy when I was 18, bro, I'd have quit.
Well, wait, do you understand because now that you've been doing it so long, do you understand exactly what he was saying? Because you've experienced things.
No, 100%, bro. Comedy is not about being funny. It's not about being, if anybody who's watching this, comedy, being funny is the least important thing. The most important thing is being able to work consistently and being able to be told no and keep going. Everything about comedy, is meant to grind you down and kick your ass out of comedy. If I started doing it at 18, bro, I wouldn't have had the heart or the work ethic to stick with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a difference, and I hate to sound like but this is true. You can have a job and be a comedian. The best thing about comedy is also the worst thing about comedy. All it takes is just saying, I'm a comedian. There's no union, there's no test, there's no certification. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that works. That's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, if you're working a real 9-to-5 and it's killing your soul, you can take comfort in the fact that, I'm a comedian. I'm doing this so I can go do that.
Well, there's
on the flip side,
there's a lot of self-proclaimed comics who are not really.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of cats.
There's levels to this shit. I don't hate on nobody. If you could be whatever you want to be, bro. Yeah. But I will hold this over anybody's head. I could follow anybody. I've been doing this 19 years, every day for 19 years. There's not an act I can't follow. Nobody intimidates me. I don't get worried about it. Whatever it is, it's gonna be. You know what I mean? That's how long I've been doing it.
After all this time, you shouldn't fear going on behind anybody doing it. Now you were doing like double and triple duty at Ha. Like I said, when I stepped in there, you were managing, and then you were going and running upstairs, leave the door.
As a fat guy in the suit.
You were the fat guy in the suit. You were the fat guy in the suit at the door.
Tell me what it was, baby. Tell me what it was.
No, I swear, because some people would say when you go, well, how do I get in the Ha? Well, you got to go to Ha, and you get in the door, you'll see Cisco. Who's Cisco? You know, the fat guy, and the fat guy.
Yeah.
But you were that dude there. And you stayed with all the rules and things. So now that you're sitting here looking back on all of the times, man, obviously we've talked about these things. Wouldn't really change but so much. But what was the salt in your wound about the game? What's salty about the game to you?
Here's what's, I don't know if I have a wound for it, because I'm gonna take everything as it is kind of guy. Like I don't take none of this shit personal. For example, like if there's one thing that annoys me, is that the like I said, the being funny part don't matter. I know a lot of funny cats that quit the game just because they're not built for it. You know what I mean? And on the one hand, I feel bad for them. On the other hand, it's like, yo, that's your path. You know what I mean? The whole thing of you can put everything of your heart and soul into this and still get nothing. That kind of sucks. If there's
Yeah.
one thing, you have to make your own lane. A lot of people that I've listened to over the past couple of years have been right about stuff. Kevin Brown, .com, 30 Rock. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He used to always be like, yo, this comedy stuff is not enough. Telling jokes is not enough. You got to have something else. So you act. Do you write? Do you do this? Do you that? And at that point, I was so busy running the club. I was like, look, I ain't got time for that. But he's 100% right.
Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg has a great take on it, which is you're a comedian. The first thing they ask you is what else you got when they put you on. Do you have a script? Did you write a script? Do you have an idea for a show? What are you bringing to the table that's going to make us make money off of you? It's like you're a good cook, but can you farm? That's his line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the reality. That's the reality of stuff. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Is it fun work? Yes. But there's so much of that work. We know a lot of people who work, and they get stuff, but you never see it, or they don't get stuff and you don't see it still, or they get stuff and you see it, but it's not the stuff that you know what I mean? Like there's a whole bunch of shit. Yeah. So I learned from watching a lot of guys banging their heads against the wall, not to take this to heart. Like, you know what I mean? This shit will drive you crazy if you let it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So tell me something, and that is, you talked about quite a few things. Tell me something that's at the top of your list, man. That's just the ultimate thing that you like. Yeah, this is one of the reasons, I do this, or it's an exciting thing for you, because we know there's some dips, but there are also really great benefits to it.
Yeah.
What's one of the things that you really appreciate about the game?
I'll be honest with you, man. The thing I like about comedy the most is the hours. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to be up early in the morning. Now that's a big part of the reason why. But that's a big part of the reason why you have to, if you don't, I don't go on auditions and shit like that a lot. But I was a night person, and I enjoyed it. Fit my lifestyle at that point for the person I was back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get to work in the afternoon. You know what I mean? I'd have to. I came from a background of getting up every morning at 6 a.m. to go sit behind a desk, and I wasn't really feeling like this was really what I wanted to do with my life when I started doing comedy. Then they switched my job, and I was working in the field, so I was able to have a lot more freedom, but I still wasn't feeling like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Comedy is the first part where I was doing the job. Like when I was running the bar, and I had that tangible, hands-on approach to doing things where I'm going to change this and see the result right away. It was you can get your laughs like right away. You know what I mean? You get your reaction like right away. Stand-up comedy is the most, I think stand-up comedy and like live music or like live singing, they're the most immediate arts, in that you get your reaction right there. You get your high right there. You ain't got to wait for it. Yeah, and that's, I think, what kept me involved in it for the time that it has. It doesn't get old. It doesn't get boring. You know what I mean? You have 1,000 shows, and no show is the same.
Yeah. Well, let me take a quick second, man, because I want to say what's up again to some of the folks that are popping up. Actually.com is watching. Kevin Brown is watching. Want to say what's up to him. Yeah, Mercedes, Alan Greenstein, Tammy Hollywood, Lisa, a lot of folks who are popping in. Thank you for supporting the show. And that's, again, you get to meet a lot of folks. You get to network. That's one of the big things too. You do your thing, and any night you can bump into anybody and network and get some jewels. And travel. You chose to be that staple at Ha and move around and just work when you want to work. But you helped a lot of cats get in the door. And then there were a lot of cats, again, who didn't get in the door on whatever level. What's most gratifying? What's most gratifying?
Also, remember this. There was those cats that I let in that that I used to catch hell for because they didn't meet expectations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I remember.
I remember. Why you putting this dude up on a Saturday? Yo, he's funny. He's not funny. He's funny. Yo.
You had to deal with the owners, all that stuff. Sometimes I felt for you. Sometimes I was like, he earned that one himself. But
listen, bro.
You dealt with everything.
It's not all wine and roses.
No, it's not. It's not, man. But so, what is a life lesson? What's a life lesson that comedy has taught you, man? Because not just about the entertainment, you talked about it, but what's a personal life lesson that you pulled from comedy or comedy taught you?
You know what's interesting is, like, there's a bunch of them. One of the ones that really sticks out is just this idea of watch your mouth. You know, I've seen too many comedians, especially when I first started. I would see comedians go up there and talk all this wild shit, and then like consequences would show up, and they were like, "Oh, I was just joking." Like, chill. You said that. You got to deal with what you said. Like, go back all the way to 2003 when the Iraq War.
Yeah,
I'm not a political dude, but whatever your opinion is, that's your opinion. And I'll never forget, there was this comedian who was going off about like the war, and this dude got up in the audience. From the audience, he was like, "Well, my son's over there fighting," and nobody knew what to do. So I had to walk over and chill this dude out, like, "Yo, he don't know what he's doing." You know what I mean? And then the comedian, he didn't understand. I was like, "Yo, the microphone is in the shield. These people are right there. You know what I mean? Like, they can reach out and touch you."
Yes, sir.
So I've always tried. I've always tried to make sure everybody's having a good time and not. It's funny because there's no reason to go overboard. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason. I'm not a big. If that's your comedy, that's cool. But I'm not a fan of fucking with people. Like, I like playing around.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like the idea that, this microphone gives you. It does give you the right to say whatever you want, but it doesn't free you from the consequences of what the fuck you just said. Like, it's not gonna happen. Like, here's some people don't understand. If there's security at the club, it's security for the club. It's not security for outside the club.
Yeah, no,
so
no,
you leave the club and that dude is still out there. The club ain't got to do a damn thing to help you out. You're on your own. You know what I mean?
That's the whole deal about, regardless though, when you're up there and you do have that freedom of speech, but you have to take the consequences of some of the things you say. You can say whatever you want to, but so can that dude or that chick who didn't appreciate what you said. And then, like you said, outside they're waiting on you. So you had to deal with some of those things. Several nights we had to fight at Hob because of some people who were just cocky.
There was a couple of times, man, that you like. Overall, it was great, but let's say like maybe like out of like maybe 3 to 5% of the entire existence, like, damn, like, it's crazy. It's that's probably the biggest lesson I got was you don't know what I don't know what that dude in the audience is going through. Like, especially like when there's somebody like heckling or whatever. Like, I've learned to try to look at people and try to and take the whole situation into account. You know what I mean? Like, if this dude's drunk, that's a different scenario. Here's a good one, and we've talked about this a lot. When there's a group of friends and there's one guy who's being an asshole, 9 times out of 10, that guy who's being an asshole is the funny guy of the group,
right?
And he's mad because you're doing his job. Hey, I make my friends laugh. Wait, who the fuck are you to make and they don't know how to react to that. You know what I mean? So it's whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's our hazard situation.
Yeah,
every job has a hazard scenario, and that's our hazard. Dealing with the drunk person, or dealing with the cocky dude, or the drunk chick, or and it just gets to ridiculous. Because sometimes comics people forget we're human beings too. So we take things, and you can't just say whatever you want to say because it is our job. We're trying to earn our money, and there's several types of hecklers, and because I've been at a lot of the shows. So what is your style, Cisco? Because I gotta be, this is a transparent interview. There's times where you go on stage before me and you just start ripping and all this. I'm like, yo, and then you get ready, you're gonna get off. You one of them dudes on the level. I gotta get my energy, and then you just prance off and lead the angry crowd to the next dude. What's your, and you go on and chill. What is your style, man? After all these years, have you figured it out?
My style was primarily back in the day. My style was whatever I was going through at that moment was going to come out on stage. So if I was annoyed or if I was angry at whatever, it could be I was having a problem with the owners. It could be I was having a problem with the staff. It could be I was having a problem with the The guy who's supposed to fix the computer system.
Mm-hmm.
I would let it out on the stage.
Yes, you would.
And sometimes that would be to the detriment of the show itself. But for the most part, I just take whatever. Usually, it used to be. I used to plan everything out meticulously. I'm going to do this stroke, this stroke, this stroke. If this stroke don't work, I'm going to do this stroke. I've been doing it now for so long, for like maybe the past 3 or 4 years of my career. For the first time in a long time, I was able to slow down, relax, and not worry so much about everything, including whether or not people were going to laugh. Like maybe about like 3 or 4 years ago, it occurred to me, they're either going to laugh or they're not going to laugh. I still have to stand here, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to speed up. I'm not going to get anxious or nervous. I'm going to be up here. I'm going to talk. If you like where I'm going, great. If you don't like it, whoever's coming up after me, maybe you'll like them. I'm not going to kill myself to get these laughs anymore. I'm going to just make the laughs happen or not happen based on what I have to say. So I took a lot of myself out of it, and I took a lot of the projecting that I was doing out of it. Earlier, like it's funny, when you start this, you're going to be like, a lot of that loudness is you putting a shield around yourself to protect yourself from, if I'm loud, they're not, and I don't give them a chance to breathe, they're not going to have a chance to not laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of that is, and being able to stop that and not worry and not kill myself if they don't laugh.
Oh, that's
You know what I
funny
mean?
you said that, because you would say that on stage. You'd be like, well, listen, if you don't like me, maybe you'll like the next person. I don't care. I'm going to tell you jokes.
Yeah. But it's the way, but even saying that out loud was a tacit acknowledgement and almost like a defense mechanism. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, it was.
It's one thing to say something. It's another thing to do it. If I would say that for a long time, and it took a minute for me to be like, yo, hold on, it doesn't, you know what I mean? And everything's great when the crowd's with you. It's when the crowd's not with you. You know what I mean? And what a lot of comics don't like to hear, especially new comics, is 9 times out of 10, especially when you not ripping. That's just a good crowd.
Right.
You know what I mean? You went up in a good spot. It's a good crowd. And you were able to just ride that wave. There's nothing wrong with that. But the longer you do this, the more you'll know. Like when you go up there and it's cold, when you go up there, for example, if you come off the stage and you're like, oh, it was that crowd. It's not the crowd. The crowd did not show up not to laugh. You didn't connect with them for whatever reason.
Right.
And once you can acknowledge that and move forward, all right, I'll get them next time. Take the weight off of the crowd and put it on yourself. That's a hard thing to do. The hardest thing to do is look in the mirror and be like, yo, I've screwed up. That's all me.
That's taking responsibility. A lot of people aren't on that level to take responsibility on things. And some people don't even understand it's not a fail, but they're not there yet. They're not at that level of maturity yet, especially in the comedy game, because this thing can hurt your feelings quickly. Yes. It can hurt your feelings, and it can damage you very, very roughly. So
what's our friend OC say? When you do good, you can walk home. When you bomb, you don't even want to leave. You just want to stay there and die. You just want to stay there and you quit. When you bomb for real, and that's the other thing too. Like a lot of cats don't. Here's the thing. When you're watching somebody on stage, I can tell from the time that I've been doing this and what I've done, if I'm seeing them being vulnerable, if I'm seeing a character. There's a world of difference when somebody's actually out there being themselves and you don't really see that nowadays. There's a million comics out there right now. There's not a lot of comedians, and that being a comedian, it supersedes how much money you make, how many people come to see you, and this and that. It's about how you're expressing your art. In my book, anyway, and that's how I measure it. You know what I mean? When you see somebody being really real, and taking chances, that is something to appreciate. You know what I mean?
Sure, you got to be I appreciate cats who are students of the game, not just doing the game, but they students. They study. You know, they take it seriously. You don't love it. You're in love with it, and you can tell.
Anybody can get laughs, bro. It's the types of laughs that you're getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of listen. There's a lot of rare air out there, man. You're not gonna see. You don't see a lot of new Carlins. You understand what I'm saying? You don't see a lot of new Lenny Bruces because so much of that shit has been done.
Yeah.
But to put your to take like your heart and put it out there and make people laugh at you being vulnerable, that, you know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be all woe is me. You know what I'm saying? But for you to be able to open up. And it's like when people see or feel your act, when people see that, if you're good at what you do, people will leave thinking they can do it. Much like I did when I was 18. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was watching a bunch of cats who were really good at their job. Go back to the early 90s. That was like the golden age of comedy in New York City. You know what I mean? So I was watching cats who were really good at their job, and it was new to me. So I left thinking, oh, I could do this. You know, turns out I could do it later on.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Appreciate all that because you gave advice as well, which is something I always like for my guests to do when they're here. Yeah. Give advice to cats who might be watching. But we're gonna take a break. We'll take a short break, and we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back with you and your toys, your action figures, and all the games behind you. But we're gonna put you in the love zone and see how you fare and do. So you're gonna stick around for a minute?
Yeah, man. You got it.
All right, we'll be right back with more After Dark with Shawn Cornelius and my special guest, my buddy, comedian Cisco. You guys stay right there.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, this is comedian Gary Owen. And listen, I want to give a big, huge shout out to my fellow comedian and activist, Shawn Cornelius, for his Enough is Enough movements to stop the violence and senseless killings that are going on. So I want you guys to support him in his movement like I do. So, again, this is Gary Owen, and this is for my guy, Shawn Cornelius. All right, thank y'all.
Peace.
This is Terrence Weatherspoon reporting live for the No News Network. A lot of y'all ain't taking this thing seriously. I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you don't take things seriously and you mess around and start sneezing on other people at their job. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. That was my son. This is Terrence Weatherspoon reporting live for the No News Network.
Hi, this is actor-writer Vince Edgill, and you're watching After Dark with Shawn Cornelius.
All right, brother. All right, we are back. Welcome back.
Yeah.
To After Dark with Shawn Cornelius and my special guest, Francisco ALDORANDO. So we good, right? You straight?
Yeah, man.
All right, everybody that sits inside the love zone on the love seat has magic. So I want to see if you have that same magic. So I just need you to say abracadabra, brother, and watch the screen. See if it works for you.
Abracadabra.
Oh, snap. You got it all the way in the Boogie Down. The Boogie Down Bronx has magic in it. All right, so this is what we're going to do, brother. I got you in the love zone right now. We're going to talk about love a little bit and have some fun. You ready?
Yeah, baby. Okay,
man, here we go. First question. What is your definition of love, sir?
Wow. It's let's see. That's a tough one. It's tough, man. Love is being with somebody through all the ups and downs and caring about somebody and wanting better for them, you know, than even they think. You know what I'm saying? Love is lifting up the person you with. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, why is that important to you?
Oh, man, you know, I don't know. That's just the way I was. I guess it's the way I was raised. You know what I mean? I grew up, and I used to always have people like putting me down. So that's probably like the biggest thing with me is, you know, I don't think everybody has something that they could do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you don't see it. You don't see your light because you don't look in the mirror. You know what I mean? And when you do look in the mirror, you look in the mirror with your eyes and not the eyes that other people see. You know what I mean?
Sure. All right, cool. What is your definition of romance?
Oh man, that's all that silly shit that you don't want to do. For me, that's all the silly shit you don't want to do, but you need to do. Like you, the romantic funny man, bro. You know that. That's the Shawn Cornelius.
That's why I'm laughing at you.
That's I'm not a romantic dude. You know, I could do romantic shit, but that's not really. And I think that's probably because like I'm a bills is paid kind of guy. Like that's how I grew up. That's how when he was around. That's how my dad showed love, man.
Yeah.
I ain't hugging you. I put food on the table.
That's what I'm saying. Females appreciate when you pay bills or you do whatever.
Yeah.
I said, what is it to you, not me? So whatever you say is cool.
Yeah, you know, whatever. For me, that romance is taking time to do something that you might not like doing. That's a big part of it. You know what I mean? Like I don't like this show, but I'm gonna watch it with you. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna complain about it. I'm like that's being an adult. Being an adult is romantic.
Hey, man, no, that's fine. I'm laughing at you, number one, because I know you, and that's real. You're being yourself. But I'm number two. I'm like, this dude gonna make me edit the hell out of this show.
I'm not gonna get wild. I'm just saying that's.
I'm at women.
Oh, that's right.
No,
you didn't tell. Oh, yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. You got women standing outside the studio. We don't even have a studio, and they gonna be out there with their banners and stuff. No, it's all good. Okay,
that's romance, baby. Romance is whatever. Doing what your partner likes to do. That's without putting conditions on it. You know what I'm saying? That if your girl wants you to do something, it's not romantic if you do it, and then you're like, all right, but now we got to do this. Shut up. Just go do it.
No,
Whatever it is.
So now,
you gotta go walk in the park. Go walk in the park.
In saying that,
I just knocked my camera over.
In saying that, where would you put yourself on this? I know what some people might say, but where would you put yourself between 1 to 10 on a romantic scale? Where would you put yourself at?
I'm low on that scale. I'm like maybe a solid 5.
Okay, that's not bad.
I can do it without being asked. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But it takes a minute for me to be like, oh, I should probably do. You know what I mean? It doesn't come naturally. You know what I mean?
No,
so
that's
maybe 4 or 5.
Okay.
I'm good at it when I have to do it, or when I realize, hey, I should do something. You know what I mean? Yo. I'm more thoughtful. No, I'm more thoughtful than I am romantic. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, you know what? I won't argue with that because that's your but being thoughtful can be under the category of romantic as well. Because
it could be, you know what, you're right. It could be, but I think
I should have said that because it's you, whatever you think it is.
No, but that for me it's not, because for me romance is like flowers and romance is grand gestures or gestures, and for me being thoughtful is just, it could be just something little, like we don't get to see each other that much. So like when you're here, I'm gonna make sure before you go to work, I'm be up with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can spend, it's all good. Spend as much time together as possible. You know,
it's all wonderful. It's all wonderful. Okay, so tell me 3 things, Cisco, that attracts you to a woman. 3 things that attract you to a woman.
Her eyes, and her eyes, and the way she carries herself, and the way she looks.
Okay, so eyes, physical beauty, and the way she carries herself.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. That works.
We'll replace the way she carries herself. There's got to be like a spark or a connection there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's got to be something about her that I'm like, I want to know more about.
Right. Okay, so go to the other side. Go to the left, man. Give me 3 things that just are turnoffs that don't attract you about women or to women.
There's not really. I don't really have the. You know what I mean? Like again, if we click, I've dated. You know me. I've dated wild people. So
yes, you have.
Yeah. So like,
I'm saying in general.
Yeah, but you know, she's
in general.
You know, she's crazy. Yeah, but you know, like I you know, to be fair, I've never dated a crazy person. I've never dated. I've dated characters, but there was always something about them that I enjoyed, and it's. I'm really trying to think here. Just no, you know, maybe like hygiene wise, you gotta be. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm sitting listening to you, but there are things you can say.
I don't care how much I like you. If you can't take care of yourself, I can't mess with you. Hygiene, but I don't really have like just the obvious hygiene. And I guess hygiene, attitude. You know, because again, attitude with me, we're not clicking like at all. And I guess that's it.
All I had to do was
Attitude,
let you
hygiene.
keep talking.
One more. And political. If you like overly like mad political and shit, if you got like
Yeah.
real strong political opinions, we probably not gonna get along. I'm not that dude. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right. Okay. No, that's cool. That's cool. That works. If you could have dinner with anybody, past, present, future, even a dinner. It doesn't have to be romantic, but for this case, let's say romantic. A romantic dinner. Who would that be out of anybody?
If we're gonna go romantic, probably Helen of Troy, just so I can see if she look as good as all the stories say. I think it would be hilarious if I met her and I'm like, yo, all right, you look all right. You know
You're
what I'm
right.
saying? Like, I ain't going to
It
war
wasn't
for
all
this.
that though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Not
It's
history
different in
book.
the ancient world.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Now you got to think on this one. All right. Let me see. Respect, honesty, trust. Right.
Right.
You got those three. Those are very important in a relationship. Tonight, right now, only for this show, you get to take one of those out and still have a successful relationship. Which one are you going to take out?
Probably respect. Yeah, respect. You can't have nothing if you can't trust each other and be honest with each other. You know what I mean? So actually, yeah, honesty and trust is what brings respect to the table anyway. So yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but you could be all types of wild disrespectful, but still be, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen couples at the club. Remember, like they loved each other, but they would be nothing but mad disrespectful
Totally
to each
disrespectful.
other.
Yeah.
To each other. And then
Yeah.
you be like, yo, what's going on? They would be fist fighting, but they still loved each other.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yo, it's crazy.
True. That's true. What is it? I know, because you've been in relationships. What is it about relationships that you really value? What is it that yeah, I love this. I love relationships because of this.
Wow. That's so funny because like the easy answer is I love relationships because of relationships and all the little things that go into it. But if you have to pick like one, it will probably just be the spending time and doing stuff, even if it's just like watching shows or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's being able to spend time with somebody that you really enjoy their company. It's probably what I like the most about it when you get that time. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. And what's one of the things you don't? One of the top things that's just like, you know what? I could do without this. I could do without this part.
Probably the same thing. You know, because you could be around somebody and be like, "Oh, why are you still here though?
Yeah, exactly.
I missed you for like an hour. Why you still do something?" You know what I'm saying? Actually, you know, it's funny because like that's how you know like if your relationship lasted through the quarantine, woo, you good.
You good, yeah.
You made it.
Unless you just couldn't go nowhere.
Part of that is like you see each other. I gotta work. You gotta work. I see you when I see you. And then you both at home. You're like, oh yeah, how you doing?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. We watched all these shows. We got to talk now.
Right. Well, you said that in the beginning of the pandemic. I know I said it. This pandemic is either going to make relationships or they're going to break them up.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm here by myself, and sometimes I don't even like myself.
I feel you.
So I know the people that got to be together every day are like, this is ridiculous. So that's cool. Okay, listen. So you give advice to today's generation is kind of wacky. Love them, sometimes don't like them. Kind of wacky though. They're missing a lot of things. Give the young ladies advice on dating. Maybe a guy like you. Give them advice on dating today.
Oh God, that's easy. Don't ladies, don't date comedians. Especially young women, stay far away from any type of creative, man. It's hard. I can't imagine being a young woman. Woo, imagine your early 20s.
Yeah.
And you moved to New York City, you're about to ruin your life. And my light just went on.
Yeah, somebody know what it is.
That was God saying you're talking too much truth right now. Yeah, if you listen, if you're gonna whoever you date, as soon as when somebody shows you who they are, don't fix it. Don't try to fix it. You can't fix nobody. You know what I mean? You can't save nobody. You gotta take care of yourself first. That goes for any relationship, man. Like you can't don't fall in love with the idea of somebody. It's that you can't see who they are. When somebody shows you who they are, believe that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If they lie to you, they lying.
Yeah, they are
it's
lying.
that simple. Is anybody listen? no matter how much you want to go and fix something, it's always going to be broke. If you take a cup and you break that cup, even if you like you do the Japanese thing, and you fix that little teacup with all the little gold,
Yeah.
it's still broken. It's never gonna be the same. So appreciate, but know that and appreciate that. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just saying don't forget that fact. It's broken. It's been broken. It could break easier next time.
Why gotta be a Japanese thing? Black people fix things. White people.
No, because in Japan they do this thing when something's broken, they make little gold flakes in with the glue to make it like a little piece. I seen this on an ad in the subway. I seen like one of them subway poems.
Right.
But they fix it with gold inlay so you could see, that it's broken, but it's fixed, and now it's still beautiful. It's more beautiful now than it was before. It's still broken. Right? It's still, and you know what? It could break easier. So you got to keep that in mind.
Give the guys now some advice on dating women. Give the guys advice on dating women today.
This is unisex. Be honest with people, even when they don't believe you. Be honest with people.
Okay.
And for anybody, and this is specifically for guys, because I've seen this with too many dudes, especially in comedy. I've seen this with too many dudes. You gotta respect the fact they your age. You know what I'm saying? Take your age. Stop messing with these young chicks and messing up their life. You know what I mean? Be an adult. Be a man. You know what I mean? Like just try that one off the size. If you're a dude, you know what I mean? Like if you can avoid headaches and heartaches if you're an adult about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is hard to do. Especially when you're a new comic, you know what I mean? Or I don't know how it is now, or how it's going to be going forward in the post-COVID era. Who knows if comedy's even going to come back? But when you're around that and you have like that ability to entice people, and this is mainly for guys because I don't see a lot of female comics doing this. You understand what I'm saying? Right. I've been doing this 19 years. I ain't never seen no loose female comedians. I've seen a lot of dudes.
Well, they hold on to it
wild out
than we do.
But yeah, I never seen no female comedians wilding out the way dude comedians go when it comes to romance.
Right. All right.
Or intimacy is a better word, maybe.
Intimacy, romance, yeah, they're cousins. So, Cisco, tell me 5 things that's beautiful in the world to you. What are 5 things that are beautiful in this world? We know we got a lot of stuff going on. We know there's
little kids,
things. Okay.
Little kids, puppies, old people. 2 more. Let's see. This New York City, and see last probably wow, Scotch. But yeah, it's funny because like wearing a mask nowadays, like I smile a lot more behind my mask because people don't see it. If you walk around, you smiling and you happy, like you know this. You can't walk around in the hood with a smile on your face.
Right.
People gonna ask you what's wrong with you. People gonna test you, you know. But when I see people with their kids, you know what I'm saying? I see kids just being little kids. They don't know what's going. You know what I mean? When you're a child, you don't understand. You don't understand. You're just like, yo, this is dope. I get to see my parents all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the endurance of old people, man. Like when you look at an old person still walking, you know what I'm saying? So like it's on the one hand, is it kind of sad? Yeah, but like when I go do my laundry and I talk to the lady who's doing her laundry and she's 82, she's proud of the fact she goes and does her own laundry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you know the perseverance of humanity, man. That's real stuff.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. So let's go here. Let's go here on this one. You're walking down the street, right? You kick over a beer bottle or can or whatever, and out comes a genie. This is the love genie. The genie is the romantic funny man genie. He's low budget. He can only grant you one wish.
Okay.
So, but it has to involve love, romantic love in it. What would you wish for? What's your one wish?
I probably for a house, so that so that my girl could have like a house. Cause I know she
Oh,
wants, like,
okay. I was gonna be like, what
you know
does
what I'm saying?
that have to do with
I'm
love?
good. I wouldn't want nothing really.
Okay.
But it just got to involve like romantic love, like something she would want. Like, here's a house is paid for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably be like the only thing.
Okay. No, that's sweet. That's cool. I take that.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. All right. So let's get into this real quick. It's a fun game, and then we'll let you out of here, let you off the love seat if you make it through. All right. This game is called Favorites. All right. All I'm gonna do is shout outs, call out something, and you tell me your favorite. All right. All right. Here we go. Favorite food.
Oh man, spaghetti and meatballs. Good spaghetti and meatballs though.
It's good spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, you ever had like really good meatballs? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't eat pork, right?
No, but I used to.
You gotta get like you remember you have like the veal, the pork, and the beef. You know what I mean? The old school. Like, I haven't had those in years.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite song of all time.
Oh, I don't really. Wow. When I was a kid, I liked Eye of the Tiger. I guess either Eye of the Tiger or Another One Bites the Dust.
That's funny because Rocky was just on last week. I was watching it late night. It was on, so they did like a marathon of all of them. Okay. Favorite now? Shoot, since you said that, you might say that. Favorite movie all time.
Ooh, I like my favorite movie. It's still Nightbreed. Came out in 1990.
Nightbreed.
Yeah, it's based on a horror novel by Clive Barker, but it's always stuck with me. It's really good. It's like the Star Wars of monster movies.
Okay, all right. Favorite book you've ever read?
Oh, the first book in the Dark Tower series, The Gunslinger.
Okay. All right.
That book, honestly, is Stephen King wrote an afterward, and he messed me up for like the entirety of my adult life because I always wanted to be a writer. Mm-hmm. And in the afterward for that book, he writes that outlines are for bad fiction writers. So from the time I read that as a kid, I was like, yeah, I don't need an outline. I'm just gonna make it up as I go along. But like, bitch, no, Stephen King can say that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you are not Stephen King. You gotta know yourself. Okay. You gotta know your strengths and your weaknesses here. So yeah, it took a long time for me to get over that one.
All right, I'm gonna kind of create some for you specifically. Favorite childhood cartoon?
Oh, that's a tough one, bro. I want Tom and Jerry. Childhood cartoon, Tom and Jerry.
Okay.
From when I was a kid, when it used to come on Channel 11, and then as I got a little bit older, it was either Transformers or G.I. Joe. But childhood is definitely Tom and Jerry or Bugs Bunny.
Okay. All right. Favorite TV show all time?
Oof. Trying to think, because I wasn't really like a TV watcher. Night Court, because I went out of my way to watch Night Court.
That was a good one. That was a funny show. Yeah, that was a funny show.
I could skip Family Ties and shit, but like I went out of my way to watch Night Court.
Yeah. Favorite vacation spot, place you've ever visited that would be considered a vacation spot?
Puerto Rico. San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Not the Bronx, Puerto Rico.
No. Not the Bronx, not the Heights. Yeah, no. The island. The one that's a 3-hour flight.
People get confused. They were like, yeah. Okay. All good. Let me see another. Okay, your favorite all-time comedian.
Ooh. My favorite all-time comedian of all time is Robin Harris.
Okay.
When I heard Bebe's Kids in 1990 or 1991. That's one of the other things that kind of like changed my life. Matter of fact, at the very beginning, I was nothing more than a Robin Harris impressionist for a very big part of the beginning for the first couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Robin Harris. All right. That's a legend. He's a legend. Definitely a legend. Favorite celebrity crush?
Who was it? Remember what's her name? She's in she was in the Faculty, and then she was in the Fast and she had dark hair. That chick, I forget what her name is.
Okay.
She was the mean girl in the Faculty, whatever. But that was it.
I don't remember her name. I saw the Faculty because Usher was in that and all of those other teenage. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Also, your favorite time of the day for lovemaking, 24-hour period.
After midnight. After midnight, before sunrise.
Okay, kind of like vampire time.
Well, yeah, but it's also like I don't know, like I've always been a night person, so like I'm more active in the night. I listen. I applaud anybody who has the energy to like wake up and roll over and do that. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going back to sleep.
All right, man. With that answer, you are now. I'm gonna let you off the love seat. And just one more time, I need your magic. Say abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
Oh, we are back in space because I wanted to bring up. We got a couple of minutes to get out of here, but you were in my film, Whatever It Takes, the movie When Blood Runs Cold. Play Mateo. I want to thank you for participating and helping me out with that. And that was your first movie.
That was my first film role. Yes. I got it. It was a lot of fun. To this day I feel bad because my scene partner, Big Fred, he had memorized his lines, and I was like, "Yo, we can improv and have fun."
You
He was
were
like,
all
"No,
over the place.
we need to do these lines."
You had Fred nervous and scared.
To this day, every time I see him, I'm like, "Dude, I'm sorry. I am sorry." But yeah, man, no, that was listen, bro. I gotta tell you. Let me take a second to put you over, man. I can't be between the movie and everything else. It's like when somebody says I'm gonna do it, man, between the book, between the music, the movie, like, dude, the modern day Renaissance, man.
Thank you. You gave me that title, brother. I appreciate it.
Listen, bro. One of these, hopefully, we'll get back to me being able to bring you up on stage again, man. Because it's always a treat to be able to do that, man. I think that's one of the things I miss the most is doing those announcements and that Michael Buffer-esque baritone that I got so good at.
I might have to listen, man. I might have to record an intro for this show.
Man, anytime.
Okay.
Anytime. So one good thing about this poor COVID, man, everybody got time on their hands. Can't nobody tell you I'm busy.
Exactly, and be telling the truth. Hey, man, thank you so much, brother. You know I love you to death, man.
Always a pleasure, brother.
To you and your family.
Same to you, man. God bless.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for you guys out there on social media watching. And I want to say what's up to Peaches Rodriguez, who shouted out, said hello, and everybody else who's checking us out. Thank you so much for supporting. And as I always say in parting, because we got to get out of here, please go with God in your heart. Have a peace of mind. Have a wonderful, wonderful tomorrow. And please remember, we know something's going on out there. Whatever you call it, just take care of yourselves. Wear your mask. Wash your hands 6 feet distance, and don't forget about everything else that can take you out of here. Make sure you're eating proper, you're exercising, and you're resting. All right. So from Lula May and Cornelius, his baby boy, I'm Shawn Cornelius saying good night. God bless you, and I catch you around the corner on the next episode of After Dark with Shawn Cornelius. Cisco, love you, brother. We'll talk soon.
Love you, bro.
All right.
Talk to you soon.